This is not just a cat, it's a miracle that survived all the ordeals life threw at him. Do you want to know how he made it? Of course you do. So listen carefully. Once upon a time in a distant town lived a little kitten named Timothy. He was a very playful and active kitten who loved spending time with his mother. They lived in a 2-story house where the owner took good care of them. But one day when Timothy was playing by the window, something terrible happened. His curious little paw accidentally knocked over a vase, which made the owner angry. She shouted at Timothy, picked him up, and threw him out of the house without even asking where his mom was. Timothy meowed pitifully and rubbed against her legs, but she didn't care. That was how our tiny hero found himself outside for the first time in his life. Luckily, there were caring people around who couldn't just pass by this little creature in trouble. The first person to notice him was a woman walking past. She stopped, picked him up, and started petting him. Seeing this, other passers-by also began to take notice of the kitten. Soon, everyone was trying to stroke him and play with him. However, none of them decided to take the kitten home. They just kept throwing him toys, laughing and making fun of him. Timothy felt humiliated. No one paid any attention to his meows, so he had no choice but to curl up in a secluded spot near the house where he used to live and wait for his mom to come looking for him. But she never did. Every time Timothy thought about his mother, his heart broke into a million pieces. Why didn't she come looking for him? Did she forget about him? Did she have another kitten and not want him anymore? Or maybe she was too scared to approach people because she was an outdoor cat. A lot of thoughts ran through Timothy's head, but none of them could ease his pain. When night fell, he began to cry. This went on for several days until one kind woman finally decided to take the kitten home. Her name was Martha. She was a veterinarian and animal rights activist. She couldn't just leave this little guy alone, so she scooped him up and carried him to her car. At first, Timothy struggled to free himself from her grip. He missed his mother so much and didn't want to part with her. But then he noticed that Martha wasn't going anywhere. And most importantly, she smelled like his mom. Carefully, Timothy began to stroke her hand. Martha smiled when she saw this. She knew that she had made the right decision. Timothy quickly got used to Martha and even began to enjoy being petted by her. However, he still had no idea what lay ahead. Martha took Timothy home and introduced him to her daughter, Emma. At first, the girl was afraid to touch the kitten. She had never had pets before. But Martha said, "Don't be afraid, Emma. Timothy is a good boy. He won't hurt you." After hearing these words, Emma cautiously reached out to stroke the kitten. At first, he flinched, but then relaxed and purred loudly. This moment was captured in a photo and later posted on social media by Martha. It became a real hit. People wrote that the kitten's eyes were the most touching. Some even offered to buy Timothy. But Martha had no intention of selling him. She wanted to find a new loving home for the kitten. And most importantly, she needed to cure him of his fear of humans. As soon as Martha began to play with Timothy, she realized how smart he was. He quickly learned how to use the scratching post and litter box. Every evening, Martha would hold Timothy in her arms and sing him songs. She believed that this would help him calm down and relax, and her efforts bore fruit. The kitten gradually became more relaxed in her company, but he still couldn't let go completely. Then he took off running and hid under the bed. Martha understood that Timothy was having a hard time adapting to a new place. The kitten missed his old life and was afraid of people. After a while, Martha called him out from under the bed and gave him some treats. She knew that the best way to win a cat's heart is with delicious food, and it worked. Timothy came closer and rubbed against Martha's leg. She stroked him and whispered, "It's okay, little one. You're safe now." From that day on, Timothy began to trust Martha. He loved spending time with her, playing with toys and taking naps in sunny spots. Sometimes he would gaze out the window for a long time, probably dreaming of his mother. Martha knew that this longing would never go away, but she hoped that one day he would forget about his worries and start living a normal life. One day, Martha decided to take Timothy for a checkup. She wanted to make sure that he was healthy. Before the visit, she combed him for a long time, picked out beautiful accessories and put them on him. Timothy looked adorable. At the vet clinic, the doctor was very happy to see such a handsome patient. She played with Timothy, gave him treats and praised him for being such a good boy. Martha was so grateful to the doctor for her kindness. She knew that thanks to her, Timothy's life would definitely get better. When they returned home, Emma immediately asked, "How is he, Martha?" Martha smiled and said, "He's fine, honey. Now he's the happiest kitten in the world." Emma hugged her mother and whispered, "I love him so much." Martha was glad that her daughter had taken a liking to the kitten. She knew that they would be great together. After the vet visit, Timothy became even more affectionate. He loved spending time with Emma. They would play with toys, watch TV together, and read books. Sometimes Emma would tell Timothy stories about her day at school or talk about her friends. She enjoyed sharing everything with him because she knew that he would always listen and understand her. Timothy loved listening to Emma's stories. He would sit close by, his ears perked up, and occasionally meow softly as if asking her to continue. Emma would scratch him behind the ears, and Timothy would purr contentedly. He felt so lucky to have found such a caring owner who loved and played with him every day. In addition to Emma, Timothy also loved spending time with Martha. She was always busy with work, but whenever she had a free moment, she would play with the kitten or just sit quietly, stroking him. Timothy knew that Martha loved him very much, and he loved her too. He felt safe and happy next to her. One day, Martha noticed that Timothy was behaving strangely. He often huddled in a corner, and his eyes were dull. She took him to the vet, who diagnosed him with a cold. The vet gave Timothy an injection and prescribed him medicine. Martha was very worried about the kitten, but she knew that he would definitely get better. Every day she brought him water and food and sat with him for hours. She didn't want him to feel lonely or scared. Timothy loved Martha for her kindness. He snuggled up to her as much as possible, purring loudly. After a few days, Timothy recovered. Martha was very happy for him and rejoiced that she had been able to help him. She loved this little kitten very much and was ready to do anything for him. One day, Martha decided to take Timothy for a walk in the park. She put on his leash and harness and opened the front door. Timothy was very excited to explore the outside world. There were so many new smells and sounds around. Timothy walked confidently next to Martha, wagging his tail. He enjoyed the walk very much and couldn't wait to tell Emma all about it when she came home from school. He turned into a beautiful cat with piercing green eyes and a thick, fluffy coat. But despite his size, he remained as affectionate and playful as before. Every morning, Timothy would wake up early and rub against Emma's face, purring loudly. She would laugh and give him treats. In the evenings, they would play hide and seek, and Timothy would always find her. Even after all these years, their bond remained as strong as ever. Now, in addition to Emma, Timothy had a new friend. Several years ago, Emma's parents brought home a little dog named Buddy. At first, Timothy didn't like him very much, but over time, they became best friends. They would play together, take naps, and sometimes even share food. Their friendship surprised everyone, but only strengthened the bond between Timothy and Emma. Now, every day was filled with joy and laughter. Timothy's life had changed dramatically since that fateful day when he was abandoned by his owner. Thanks to Martha, Emma, and all the kind people around him, he became a happy and beloved cat. Timothy's story teaches us to always be kind to animals and never give up on them. No matter how difficult it may seem, every kitten deserves a chance to be loved and find a home, just like Timothy did.